Hey everybody, thanks for joining us and welcome to another exciting edition of the OverMark Podcast. We're your hosts, TJ and Dave, and today we're going to be talking about Raw from June 23rd, 2025, and we got a little bit of news, not too much. So, like usual, check out our, at OverMark ENT, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, what's the other one, Twitter, X, whatever the fuck it is. That's our social medias. Yep, we appreciate you for checking them out. And we're going to jump right into the action here, which is WWE Raw, like we just said. And they had an attendance of 13,003. The setup was for 13,599, though. Kind of a weird number. You'd think they'd be able to fit that one extra seat in there, right?
One more? Yeah, what the fuck?
But anyway, it said they had 596 left. Maybe it was a sellout, maybe not. I'm not sure. I really wasn't paying attention if there were any seats or anything like that available, but the place looked pretty full for what the setup was. So we get the drone shot. It's following the crowd from the concession stand to the ramp as Seth Rollins music hits. I wonder if they had to hire a new guy to do that, or if they got a guy trained to do that. Because that's got to be a sweet gig. It's like, oh yeah, I'm the guy that flies the drone around on Mondays.
What do you do for your job? I'm the WWE drone camera operator.
Yeah.
That's a sweet gig, you're right.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. But anyways, Seth Rollins, they need to get a better one, by the way. I don't know if that, I'm sure it's, money's on an option, so maybe that's as good as it gets, but it's definitely not the quality of their, the shoulder cameras. But
right, it's like a 2K or something, it seems like, versus everything else is 4K.
It's just transmission. I'm sure the camera's great, but it's just the transmission. That's the issue. It's losing quality in the transmitting. I mean, it's fucking live, It's probably Bluetooth or something retarded, too. I mean, whatever it is, it's pretty direct, There's a lot. I imagine how many phones are in there. The frequencies and all this stuff going on there, it's got to be a lot, right? So the interference has to be crazy. I don't know. That might be something to look into, because I'm sure people have already fucking figured out ways to deal with all that shit, and there's some smart motherfuckers out there. Anyways, Seth Rollins promo. He welcomes everyone to Monday Night Rollins, right? He's been doing that for a while. Calls out the crowd's indecisiveness. 1 minute, it's CM Punk. The next, it's OTC. Then you're barking for the dog. It's funny, he gets right up and Breaker's kind of behind him, and he's like, hoo, 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 making dog noises and shit.
Sure.
Yeah. I guess. I'll sign off on that. But
Dog Sager.
Yeah. So he's like, you're singing my song. Says the fans have no idea what they want, and then he doesn't care. Claims the fans need people like him to decide what's good for him, and announces that he's conducting an experiment. He digs at some key features here. Roman Reigns, he exists because of me, which, I mean, I could see how you could maybe jump to that conclusion there, right?
Their careers will forever be intertwined,
old Dean Ambrose is in there too, but he's not around anymore. So Punk, he brings him up. He says he came back to the company and wanted to cash in on how much WWE wanted to cash in on how much Seth hated CM Punk. That's one of the reasons they brought him back, which, I mean, that's kind of weird. That's a stretch there. But in Cody Rhodes, there was no second coming of Cody, unless I put him... Sorry, I'm reading fucking goofy as fuck today. There was no second coming of Cody unless I put him on the map. Maybe, but I think Cody put himself on the map. It doesn't matter who they had him doing that out there with. Granted, Seth Rollins is fucking amazing. There's no doubt in the question of his talent. But there's a whole bunch of guys that they could have put him out there with that maybe they could have got the same deal done with. But Seth Rollins was the right choice for that assignment. I think you'd agree there too.
Oh yeah.
So Seth claims to his legacy, first ever NXT champion, first world heavyweight champion. These titles exist as they are because I built them in my image. Declares himself the creator, the past and the present, and this is the future. I mean, I don't know. He's probably not lying there. The Revolution in LA Knight puts his arm around Paul Heyman, references Revolutions. Warren's opposition will be dealt with until it forces his hand. That's what happened to LA Knight. Tsunami after tsunami after tsunami. Targets going forward. Hypes Bron Breakker versus Penta happening soon. Name some top contenders in Cena, Gunther, CM Punk, Goldberg, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, Randy Orton, for the King of the Ring. Says they're all running a race for second place. Points to the Money in the Bank briefcase. It has and always will be Seth frickin' Rollins. Interrupting moment. Penta's music hits, and Penta heads to the ring for his match with Bron Breakker. So, that was a good segment, I guess. It's kind of by the books. It's not that it was bad. It was just kind of what you would expect, I believe. Would you say that?
Yeah.
That's correct?
I'm caught in one of these things, and I'm trying to be mindful of stuff. I think that this was good.
Yeah, it was
good.
But
in my mind, I'm like not necessarily shitting on it, but kind of downplaying it. And I think part of that is that we're conditioned for some of this stuff to be so good now again that maybe stuff that is good we don't think is as good because there are more things that are good happening regularly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it does. You see a whole bunch of good shit in a row, and then all of a sudden, let me compare it to something, but you do a whole bunch of good drugs, and you build up that tolerance, brother. Something like that.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, it's similar.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I was thinking it's more like the Attitude Era when you didn't realize how good everybody was. And then now it's like, well, everybody was, you look back and it's like, well, everybody's Hall of Famers.
Yeah. I mean, technically, you can just take out anything and just everybody's Hall of Famers.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they are, right?
Right. But yeah, I do think it was good. But yeah, it was just one of those random Dave musings.
Oh no, definitely, I agree with you completely. And anyways, I don't know. Like my finishing thing there is like I thought it was a good segment. It was actually pretty good. I liked it a lot. It furthered its point. I was just kind of like trying to, I don't know, just say that it was kind of like by the books, as you've seen that exact promo like 100 times in your life, maybe even more, right? But anyways,
at least,
yeah, we will move on. And if you want to lead us into the direction of this next match here,
oh boy, well, we got Bron Breakker versus Penta, and you got the old Penguin himself out there, Paul Heyman with Braun. And I don't have it in the notes here, but the match is on my TV right now, and I'm pretty sure that our boy referee Eddie Oregano is overseeing the action for this contest.
Is what you're saying out there. Hell yeah.
That's right.
He was going to be World Heavyweight Champion, but they just didn't really have anything for him in creative, so he just figured he'd just do the referee thing for a while,
Funny thing about old Eddie, and we're getting way sidetracked here, but believe it or not, used to be a wrestler.
Yeah, that's pretty common in these referees.
And I know I had brought up the one time that he was a former WWE 24/7 champion. He won that once. Well,
yeah.
Before we get into this match here, we're going to list off some old Eddie's other accomplishments.
Oh, shit.
He's just because I have this up here, a 2-time Combat Zone Wrestling Tag Team Champion. Wow. He's a American Championship Entertainment Ace Diamond Champion.
Oh, the Ace Diamond?
Quite sure. Yeah.
Well, I can't believe it.
That sounds pretty big. East Coast Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champion. He was Game Changer Wrestling Extreme Champion. I mean, that's one of the bigger indies. And I think that's their secondary title behind their world title. So that there's other titles, but we're getting sidetracked here. But just Eddie's the man, is what I'm saying. He's done a little bit more than just refereeing here.
Yeah, he's not asking to do something that he wouldn't do himself.
Exactly. But circling back to the match, this was actually a pretty good match. Penta worked fast, Braun worked strong. For some reason, they did a table spot during the commercial under the announce desk. That was kind of goofy, I thought. The Mexican Destroyer was awesome, and the finish was Braun hit him with a mid-air spear, which was pretty badass. I can't remember what exactly move Penta was going for when he hit him with it, but I'll see it here in a minute. But we'll be past it at that point. But yeah. Cool match, good finish. He won clean. There was no outside interference, which was weird. I kind of expected it. Actually, now that I'm thinking back to the match,
this match wasn't great.
There was some clunky shit in this match. I remember you and I talking about it.
They had no chemistry
right. I'll let you give your evaluation here.
I don't know. I'm not gonna break this fucking shit down really too much, but I remember there was one spot near the end where Penta was sitting down on the top rope in the top right corner, and
do the
he
kick.
Just went up to do a kick, but it's like he just kind of flopped sideways. Breakker did when he went to go do it, and then they acted like he hit him with a knee, right?
Yeah,
and then he went and then did the Frankensteiner after that, correct?
Yep, that literally just happened on my TV, and the shitty fisherman suplex that wasn't executed right. Was what reminded me of that. I'm like, wait a minute.
But there was multiple things in this match that were just
off.
Yeah. It's, I don't know what it was, whether it was Breakker not really working with a lot of luchadors or something, because, I'm not 100% sure his wrestling background, but I believe that he's mainly an NXT guy. He might have, was he in Evolve at all, or was that a thing before he was out there? Maybe something to look into. Maybe we can do a segment on that and do a detailed look into his background.
It looks like he was in AWF/WOW early in his career in 2020, and then February 2021 he was in NXT. So it looks like he had minimal indie experience and was snatched up by NXT. He probably just needed to get out there and get his feet wet a little bit.
Yeah, so he probably hasn't, this is the most exposure he's had working with the luchadors, Penta, I'd imagine. But it's not to say this match was bad by any means, but it was just, there were certain moments where it was just kind of clunky. The transitions didn't flow well. He would have to sit there when, I don't know what move it is, but when he does that little handstand on the top rope and then comes down and catches them while they're in the, sitting in the Raven style in the turnbuckle, laid
back in the corner.
Yeah, that takes way too long. You can't really use that on a guy that's all adrenaline and energy that like Breakker, because he's not going to sit there and do that. It's his thing would be to get up and spear you while you're in the middle of coming down. That would have been the correct way to use that move against him. You highlight his strengths. I know you want to make both guys look good, but in some situations with these high-flying matches and the guy that's all power, it's somebody kind of has to give a little, somebody has to give a little bit more than they get, if that makes sense. Just overall, not bad. Don't have to drone on it too much here. We got a little backstage after this. It was Adam Pearce, AJ Styles, and the New Day. Pearce is on the phone with Nick Aldis backstage, and AJ Styles walks in. Pearce informs him that Dominic Mysterio is injured and the match at Night of Champions is off. AJ accuses Dom of ducking him and storms off. The New Day walk in with a photo shoot idea. It's kind of funny. He's Xavier Woods is pulling up his shirt and showing his abs and shit. I mean, it was a cut-off shirt, but Pearce redirects to making a match. New Day versus Finn Balor and JD McDonough next week. It's official. Adam Pearce got not the best tooth to gum ratio, by the way. But the New Day get angry and leave. I know it's random.
Speaking of Adam Pearce, I find him and Nick Aldis are kind of the best authority figures that we've had in a really long time.
Yeah, it's funny how that works. Why'd they just decide these two guys are the guys? They look the part.
Yep.
They both are. Right?
Yeah. Nick Aldis was Magnus in TNA for a long. He had a very prolific wrestling career outside of WWE in the NWA and in TNA. And he's married to Mickie James.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's probably pretty fun for him, I guess.
Yeah, you know.
Me just making fun of the way he looks. I'm a real cool guy, huh? But
well, we can make fun of how people look. We look like goofy motherfuckers too.
Yeah, I think we do. I think that's probably pretty accurate. So I'll go to the next one here. It's pre-recorded interview with Michael Cole and Goldberg. This was
real quick.
Yeah.
Before we move on, the Dom and the AJ match being off. We talked about this a little bit before the show. We think that it's probably because one or both of them doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia. I don't know that Dom is actually injured, and this could just be storyline to cover for that. One or both of them don't now want to go to the Middle East to a potential war zone.
Think about it like this. So, Dom probably has a little bit of pull backstage, with his dad and everything too, and so I bet you he was able to be like, Dad, I don't want to go, and he's like, hold on, son, I'll make the call for you. Yeah, he's not doing it, Paul. No, he's not going. Some shit like that. But
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me that both of these guys have families, and
I mean, AJ Styles
could be a storyline, could not be.
I would 100% not blame either individual for not wanting to go over there. I wouldn't either. Nope. It's just a shame. I hope that this whole thing gets resolved quickly and there's as little violence and destruction as possible. It's never good when something like this happens, and it just makes everything more expensive for everybody, and corporations seem to come out ahead, and overall just not good for everybody, and we will talk about this later.
I do have one more thing before we move on. He was on the phone. He had like a joint call with both countries, and they were getting kind of uppity, and he was like,
"Suck my dick."
Oh, Trump said that?
Yeah. I mean, he allegedly. I don't know. That's a.
I could really, really believe him saying that.
He might have. I mean, he did say the F word earlier today on TV. So I mean,
wow.
That's rough. He could have told him to SSD. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, he mentioned a whole bunch of stuff that was way more extreme than that, from what I heard. But that's not safe for us to play on.
Yeah, we'll get thrown off of the air on YouTube if we.
Yeah, I mean, hey, he said it, not us. But we can't.
We're just reporting what was said, but we can't report what was said. Anyway. So tell us about this pre-recorded interview with Michael Cole and Goldberg there, TJ.
It was pretty interesting. They I don't think it was bad by a production level by any means, and I feel like it was done as well as it probably could have been, but it's like Oldberg, So it was like a sit-down interview airs between Cole and Oldberg. Oldberg says that he was relaxing with his family and as fans when Gunther verbally attacked him. The lack of respect was unbelievable. Says that he won't let it slide, and that Gunther disrespected his wife, son, fans, and his hometown of Atlanta. Even if I've got one foot in the grave, no one disrespect me like that. It's like, why do you say you have one foot in the grave, man? You're like, I don't even think he's technically 60 yet. Like, you probably got a while to hang around. But anyway,
yeah, I mean, maybe he knows something that the rest of us don't. But yeah, it's getting pretty dark.
Yeah, like fuck. I'm gonna be 40 here in a couple of years, and like, fuck. I hope I still got a while to be around. Like, man, he makes it sound like I don't have too much to look forward to. But declares war. I'm gonna beat the fuck out of Gunther. Oh, they bleeped it out too, by the way, at Saturday night's main event, and ended it. Michael Cole looked shook when he said that. He was like, oh, and like moved himself a little bit. It was something else.
He's clutching them pearls. Yeah.
But anyways, where was I at? Cole reveals that he asked Goldberg if this would be his last match. Goldberg said yes. When asked what happens, this is after they go back. This is after the interview. They cut back to them at the desk. By the way, I apologize, guys. It's hot outside. This was so on the phone it said that it was like the hottest day in like 12 years here in North Carolina, where I live. And it fucked me up pretty good today, like I've told you before. I'm a fucking like roofer, so like I was out in this shit all day. Feel like a piece of bacon. So like I'm tired. I feel a little bit fucked up, but I will make it. I did stay hydrated, and this is how I felt yesterday. And when I woke up in the morning, I felt like completely refreshed. So hopefully, as long as I just drink a lot and everything, I'll be good, and I'll just be tired again tomorrow, right?
Yep. So self-care is important.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's I'm tired too, but thankfully I wasn't on the roof like TJ. But that's kind of part of why today's episode isn't as long. We just have the couple of things, and then we're gonna peace on out of here. But we'll be back on Thursday. I mean, not that we're done now. I mean, or anything. No. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, Goldberg did say that this was his final match, and I was telling people this like on message boards and shit. People were talking about this match, and he's gonna win the World Heavyweight Championship. I'm like, this is his last match, man. And like, what? How do you know it's his last match? And it's like, because people have been talking about this being his fucking retirement match for like a year now. I feel like it's common knowledge. I don't know. I'm not the smartest motherfucker out there, but I do pay attention. So maybe some other people should be paying attention to what's going on around here, because if you read between the lines, you can kind of figure out what's going on, I feel like. Anyways, what'd you think about that?
I want to give Goldberg the benefit of the doubt and be like, hooray, Goldberg's getting his send-off. But, man, he looks ancient and like shit. And I'm sorry, Goldberg. Actually, I'm not sorry. Fuck you. You kicked Bret Hart in the head. Fuck Goldberg. Bret Hart should be getting his fucking retirement match and millions of dollars in the modern era instead of getting kicked in the fucking head in the 90s and ending his career. Fuck you, Goldberg. You're lucky you're getting this match, piece of shit.
Oldberg.
Yeah. Fucking send him over to Iran, dude.
That'd be cool if that's how he loses. Bret comes out and trips him. Some shit like that.
Fuck yeah.
That would be fucking
comes
awesome.
Out, does like a distraction. Yeah, actually their little sit-down interview's on right now here on the TV. He looks like shit.
I know, man. He looks like he's sunken into himself. But, I mean, that's what happens when your body's beat up and he's got all those muscles, and now he's just going to shrink and shrink and shrink. And, like, I don't know what kind of shape this guy's in, man, but
he's still big.
Yeah, of course he's going to be, but not nearly as big as he used to be. I have no hopes for this, but I don't know, man.
I'm sitting here watching Michael Cole do this right now, and a random thought pops into my head. They always
he looks like
in the modern era, they're always saying, "Oh, Michael Cole, the GOAT, the greatest of all time." I'm starting to think that obviously he's not going to be better than JR or Lawler to me, but he might be eligible for announcer Mount Rushmore. And maybe at some point we'll do like a little segment about like a Mount Rushmore of announcers and stuff like that. Yeah, because there's a lot of them though.
Yeah, that's actually something we need to start the discussion. But yeah, anyways, moving on from Goldberg, we have this backstage Judgment Day in Roxanne Perez, Finn Balor, JD McDonough, Dominic, Roxanne Perez, and Raquel Rodriguez are backstage. Finn says that Liv won. What's going on?
Oh no, sorry, that was the wrong audio clip. Oops.
Well, Finn and Liv said you wouldn't want them sitting around. Dom needs to get cleared. Motivates Roxanne. You're going to be queen of the ring. Announces JD and Finn will become tag team champions next week. Declares Raquel is the women's tag team champion. Finn tells Raquel to be the enforcer she is and make Rhea pay for last week. Dom says he misses Liv. Roxanne comforts him, tells him everything will be okay. She walks away after thanking him. So, like, they're going to have more time to build that, too.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. This was like, they really just keep pumping out shit with these people every fucking week. It's like high school.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah. Like, it's good stuff, it's simple, effective. They have directions that they're going, but somehow they just keep digging it deeper every week, and it's going to be funny seeing Dom cheat on fucking Liv with Roxanne, and I don't know. I think Roxanne's going to end up.
I hope that he doesn't.
Yeah. Well, that will be interesting. Maybe like that's how he's going to turn face or something. He won't do it.
Yep.
Well, we'll see.
He stays loyal.
What'd you think about this?
Yeah.
Just another...
Well, the Judgment Day stuff is entertaining, and it's actually on my TV right now again. But I like what they're doing. I like how Raquel is still kind of not necessarily all on board with Finn's plans and dealings, but she's starting to come around a little bit, it seems like. But I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I'm enjoying the storytelling, and he's constantly trying to throw Dom's dick at fucking Roxanne.
Yeah, he is. That's fucking hilarious, man.
Yeah. he's like Brett Favre, just quarterbacking it right at her.
You see, he's like doing this, like he's like pointing the directions with his eyes.
Yeah, like and looking. He's like,
come on.
He literally was just doing it. It's so goofy.
These segments are good though. I really enjoy them. So I'll do the next one again too. So backstage, Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Bayley is seen preparing for her match, and then Lyra walks up to her and she apologizes for last week. There's a little bit of tension at first, with Bayley being like, "Oh, I didn't know that I needed your permission to have this match," but and then she like backed down and apologized. Bayley says tonight's match has been on her mind all week, and tells Lyra, "If I beat Becky tonight, you're first in line for a title match." And then Becky was actually kind of behind them, listening to them talk. So like she thought that they were like conspiring against her. But yeah, it was okay. I don't really even need to ask you what you thought about that, right? Not too much to talk about, just a little segment.
Not much.
So we'll move on, and if you want to take over from here, you can.
One thing that I do want to say about that is this was a weird thing. Like, the Judgment Day segment ended. Jade made her entrance. We went to commercial. We came back and then did that backstage segment. And then we went into the match with Roxanne not having a televised entrance. I just thought it was
that is strange.
Weird way to arrange it. We keep talking about that kind of stuff happening. I don't know what the deal is here. And Brandon is super in love with Jade. But yeah, so anyway, we've got the Queen of the Ring match, and it's Jade Cargill versus Roxanne Perez, and it's the battle of green and greener. Actually, Roxanne's not that green. I shouldn't say that. She's doing really well. She random nerd stat, by the way, she has wrestled the most matches of anyone on the roster, male or female, this year. So yeah, she workhorse. But anyway, unfortunately for her, that workhorse stuff didn't get her the W for this match. Jade ended up going over in a kind of sloppy match. Roxanne did the best that she could. Jade's not really improving. Looks fantastic still. Hopefully she gets a little better. And let's see here. Oh, after the match, Jade walks towards the crowd on the ramp, and Asuka's music hits, and she comes out wearing her little kabuki mask, and she takes it off, and they go face to face, and yeah. What did you think of this, TJ?
Put down some stupid little notes here.
Oh, yep.
That are revised with the help from my friend Al. But Jade and Asuka, like you said, went face to face on the stage, and that's where we left off. So my thoughts about this is they were trying here, but to be honest, Jade Cargill looked like someone trying to play Tekken with just the shoulder buttons. She's got freakish power and insane athleticism, but when it just came to time to do anything more complicated than a slam or stare, Roxanne Perez basically had to carry the match like it was a group project. Cargill had her moments, but you could tell Perez was out here doing footwork transitions and advanced calculus, while Jade was still figuring out which side of the ring to tag. It wasn't a bad match, just one where you realize Cargill's still in demo mode.
I like that, demo mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
stopped getting better a while ago, and it's like she started to get a little worse.
I think it's because she spent all that time out of the ring, and she got comfortable.
Yeah, she's comfortable. She thinks the way she looks and all that stuff that they're not going to get rid of her, and that may be the case. But I mean, she technically is a complete nobody. They could replace her with anyone, and it would be just the same. She's just. It's just rough. Hopefully she's not going to win the Queen of the Ring. She does need something like that, so maybe she could run with it and maybe it would help her. But I don't see any path to her being entertaining in wrestling. Her run in AEW, that's all she did was win. I think I literally saw every single match that she had in AEW. I saw every single storyline. It was not good. And it started to get a little bit better towards the end. I was starting to see some improvements. And, it's when she came into the women's roster in WWE, you know what to expect. You know the level of matches, and you know when they're going to let the women have the good ones. She has been in a couple of positions where they have expected her to have the good one. And she's not capable of having a match better than the match she had last night. Pretty much. That's all I got to say about that. And I
know Brandon was coming in here trying to say that he saw a little something during her match last night. I don't think that happened, but he was hoping.
No. I think he didn't see nothing. His friend Nick told me that he saw it too, but I'm not really sure. So, saying that, we will move on here. We have this backstage segment between Sheamus, Alpha Academy, Natalya, and Rusev. This is like the second week in a row where these guys are all like fucking complimenting each other backstage. Like, what's the fucking... Yeah. Well, here...
Nobody wants to see that.
Last week, it seemed kind of like genuine. This week, it was like just the same shit, but it's like they were like really like just polishing the knob and shit, like finishing it off. It wasn't very good. Sheamus is seen with Alpha Academy and Natalya. Rusev walks in, gets in Sheamus' face. So I guess Sheamus just wanted to work with his buddies. Rusev, I do damage in the ring like a god. You do it backstage like a snake. And then Sheamus fires back. You were nothing in League of Nations. I'm tired of talking. Put up or shut up. And Rusev warns him, I'll make you remember this. And Rusev walks off. Fuck, man. If the goal was to make me hype for a match against those two, mission not accomplished.
Yeah. In fact, I don't want to see them.
No, that sucked. That was weak. The delivery between both guys was just boring. If you're going to have these guys do something, have them just... What you do with these guys is have one guy have a match. Have him go out there. The other guy goes out. He interferes in the match. They beat the living shit out of each other and completely tear the fucking place apart. And there's no real fucking... No guy got an advantage. Or they did, but it was 50-50. One guy beats the shit out of the other. They go backstage. They fuck everything else up. And eventually they pull them apart. That's what you do with these guys to hype a match. Nothing else. That's all you gotta do. It's really simple. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. And unfortunately, they don't. Yeah, for lack of a better term.
There are guys that can pull off that kind of promo and tension and build and talking in a backstage segment to build their match, but it's not these two, and I don't know, it's fucking weird, really. And then I'll talk about this one too. So we got this Gunther promo on Goldberg. It's the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther. He enters the ring, says last week was supposed to be his championship celebration, but instead, Goldberg interrupted and said he was next. Gunther reflects, being next used to mean being speared 1, 2, 3 and it's over. Acknowledges Goldberg's legacy and adds, this isn't 1999, it's 2025. I am the guy. Declares himself the best professional wrestler in the company. There is nothing Goldberg can say to change my perception of him. Says he sees a 50-year-old one-trick pony who can't lace my boots. Apologizes to Goldberg's wife and son for what he's going to do. It's his responsibility to to make sure the legacy and myth of Bill Goldberg forever dies. Drops the mic and left the ring. Pretty good promo.
Yeah, it was actually. His promo work has improved quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, he's dressed the part. He talks the part. Like, everything about him was like, oh, I can believe this guy's a champion. And I know some people don't give a fuck about that. And if you don't, that's perfectly fine. But overall, the package is there. The guy's there. It's just going to be really nice when they finally find a fucking, to John Cena's CM Punk. Where's Gunther's? He needs somebody to be his, top, when you talk about these feuds that, that they had back in the day, similar, when Hogan and Randy ended up going against each other. Everybody talks about that. He just needs one, I'm not saying he hasn't had some good ones, but he needs one really, legendary run with somebody in a really good program, and I think that'll, really solidify just him in general, because you can have all the titles you want in the world, but until you have that one program with that one guy that people remember, a title doesn't really mean anything. So why don't you take us on? Or actually, I guess I'll have to ask you, what'd you think about? Or you already fucking said what you thought about it. Like I said, I'm all fucked up from this heat, man. Backstage segment. Why don't you talk to us about it? Backstage segment with Becky Lynch, Sami Zayn, and Karrion Kross.
Boy. Well, we got Jackie Redmond interviewing Becky Lynch backstage, and Becky says that she just saw Bayley and Lyra conspire against her and storms off and crosses the path of old Sami Zayn hanging out backstage. All these people are just randomly strewn about, hanging out wherever. They're not in catering. They're just in random parts of the arena doing things. And then before he can respond to Jackie, Karrion Kross and Scarlett walk in, and Kross says, you wrestled the Viper, you lost, you'll never be world champion, and boom, Sami instantly punches him and says he's done talking, reveals he already spoke to Adam Pearce, and their match is official. Zayn to Kross, tick-tock, then he walks off, and then Scarlett and Kross smirk, and Kross tells her, I got him. We're finally going to see this guy wrestle. We haven't seen him wrestle in a long time. The fans have been clamoring for this guy to wrestle. So, this is one of those put up or shut up moments. If he delivers on the pay-per-view, they're going to have to start using him on TV more in a more prominent position outside of being the weird guy that skulks around backstage trying to fucking make everybody mad at each other. So, I like this. And I hope they have a good match. And, Becky Lynch was there for a second. Yeah, I don't know. What did you think?
Well, it's like Zayn going to be the guy to try to put him over and catapult his rise to stardom or something?
Elevate him to the upper mid-card?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It should be good, whatever it is. They've been building this thing for them for a while, and this was similar to all the other segments that they've had in the back, but very enjoyable stuff. I like both guys. We'll go ahead and move on. We got the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship with Becky Lynch versus Bayley. So Becky Lynch ended up winning by disqualification. Post-match, Bayley gets angry at Lyra Valkyria. Bayley and Lyra argue in the ring. Becky smiles at ringside, watching it unfold. This match had one big problem, at least to me. Lyra Valkyria coming and getting involved. It was a surprise run-in that everyone saw coming. From 3 weeks ago. It wasn't a question of if she showed up. It was how long we'd have to wait for her to stop lurking backstage, like a Skyrim NPC waiting to trigger a cutscene. The first half felt like watching a movie where you know the twist already, so you're just checking your watch until it happens. Until Lyra finally decided to grace us with her dramatic interference, things picked up. But by then, the match had already spent 10 minutes trying to run a marathon with ankle weights. Not bad overall, just haunted by the ghost of a plot twisted, long spoiled. Yeah.
I mean that's exactly what happened. It was an all right match. You would think that considering the prominence of both of the gals in this match, that would have been better. But it's a TV match with a predictable outcome, so it just was what it was, I guess.
Yeah, I like Lyra, but they got to stop. She can't emote very well. She can talk kind of okay-ish, enough to get her point across, but her emoting without a mic isn't very good yet. Might want to work on that a little bit with her.
She needs to type /E.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
But overall, not bad.
Not good, but not bad. But then after that, we get a backstage segment with some folks. Chad Gable, Ivy Nile, and Penta. And get your mind out of the gutters. It's not like one of those things that you see on X videos or something.
Why not?
Chad Gable is, I don't know, that's just how they chose to film this segment, I guess. But he's backstage with Ivy Nile, and he's, it says he's giving her a motivational talk, but he's kind of more berating her about not winning her Queen of the Ring match and putting himself over and, breaking his arm to pat himself on the back while he's kind of down talking her. And he sees Penta nearby and, he tells her, something along the lines, watch how it's done or some shit. I can't remember verbatim what he said. He strolls on over to Penta cockily and says, "It was my pleasure watching Bron Breakker destroy you." And, Penta's kind of trying to tell him to fuck off, and Gable keeps poking at him. So Penta shoves him. And Gable swings, Penta ducks, hits him with that arm thing that he does, the little arm snap move. And WWE officials rush in to break it up. And it's a pretty entertaining segment. I like what Chad Gable has been doing with the Luchadors, and it's gone on longer than I thought. I thought that the him and Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania was going to be the end of it, but then Rey got hurt and the plans changed. I don't know if the plan was to keep this kind of thing going longer or as long as it has been, but it's been a quality addition to the program, I will say. What did you think?
So what are they finally getting to the meat of the matter with Penta and Gable? Gonna start actually having a real feud where they fuck with each other a lot? Is he going to do it as Americano at some point? But it wasn't bad.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're starting to get to the meat of the matter with these two, which has been the thing the whole time. I'm sure this is going to mix in to their AAA show they're going to have next. The next big one of those. He's going to end up being the champion of that organization as Americano, I think.
I honestly thought that he was going to beat Vikingo somehow and get it just to piss everybody off. That would have been crazy heat.
Yeah, it would have. Well, you don't want to start it off like that, but that
no, yeah, that might turn fans off. And then they're just gone.
Yeah. So we'll move on from that, and we got this in-ring brawl with Raquel Rodriguez and Rhea Ripley. Raquel Rodriguez comes out angry, calls out Rhea Ripley. I'll drag you out here by your nose ring if I have to. Her music hits, Rhea's being. Music, I mean. She storms to the ring. They brawl. Rhea lands several right hands. Big boot sends Raquel outside. Rhea follows. Raquel spears her into the ring apron. Raquel throws Rhea over the timekeeper's area. Raquel pulls a table from under the ring. As Raquel turns around, Rhea jumps off the announce table with a punch. Rhea throws Raquel into the steel steps. Rhea sets up the table in the ring, goes for a riptide through the table, and Roxanne Perez runs out to interfere. Rhea catches her and slams her into the turnbuckle. Rhea turns and Raquel hits the Tejeda bomb on the table. Did I say that right?
Yeah, I'd be honest with you. I don't know. I said it with a question mark myself when I was looking at that earlier. What kind of table was that though?
A Slim Jim, brother. Hell yeah, they're getting that money. But
yeah, they are.
That's at least cool that they're like, like Raquel Rodriguez went up to her. What the fuck is her face? Damn it! What's wrong with me, man? Roxanne Perez, and picked her up and then hugged her.
Yeah, they were looking mighty friendly. So that was good,
So she's gonna be taking Liv's place in the Judgment Day. It's gonna be like she never left.
Yeah, maybe, just maybe.
But yeah, that's a good little promo. So it's gonna be fucking Rhea versus those two. Maybe she'll have to get a tag partner, but they'll be fucking with her for a while, it seems. So backstage, we got Adam Pearce and Rhea Ripley. After the break, Rhea Ripley storms into Adam Pearce's office, and she says that she wants Raquel Rodriguez. And Pearce says, "You've got her." And then Rhea smirks and says, "It's official," then walks off. Yeah, it's official. What the fuck? I don't know, man. Real people don't fucking act like that.
No. That's the most unnatural dialogue of all time. It reminds me of you ever see the movie Grandma's Boy?
I watched it this weekend.
You know how he's the video game programmer, and then there's like the nerdy guy that please sit on my face.
The guy with the bad guy of the movie.
Yeah, I'm a robot. I have a robot vagina.
It what's his name, like DJ or AJ, something like that.
I can't even remember, but yeah, that's what that reminds me of.
Sit on my face, like that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie's fucking awesome, man. I love that movie.
That and Step Brothers, I'll watch pretty much any time that it's, especially Step Brothers, man. That one really gets me. I know that it's stupid, and a lot of people don't care for Will Ferrell's brand of humor because it's lowbrow, but that shit's hilarious. That's one of my favorite comedies of all time.
I have it in 4K Blu-ray, so I own that movie. They don't have Grandma's Boy in 4K yet, but when they do, I'll buy that shit too. I'll get the Steelbook. Take it even a step further. I don't know if you remember me telling you, but I ended up ordering the Austin Powers Steelbook that they just ended up releasing, but it's an international release. They don't have it released in the U.S. yet, but 4K Blu-rays are region free, so it won't be a problem. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that, man. It should be funny. And there's two different versions of that movie, actually. It's the version we got and then the international release. They're very similar, but there's a few little differences, but pretty much the same movie. But take us on to the main event here.
Oh boy, we got the King of the Ring tournament, Cody Rhodes versus Jey Uso. And these dudes both got super good crowd reactions when they came out. Both got good pops. He ran it back. He did the "It's Just Me" Us twice, and then they had their match, and it was a pretty entertaining match. There was a lot of good back and forth. You didn't really, I wasn't sure which way it was going to go, and ultimately Cody won, and it will be Cody versus Randy in the King of the Ring finals. And Jey and Cody shake hands after the match in a respectful show of sportsmanship. And the rise of Jey Uso turned this from Cody wins LOL into a match where you actually had to think for a second. And that's rare in wrestling. Sure, Uso's not quite on Cody's level, but he's graduated from the guy who eats pins in six-mans to a full-blown credible threat with pyro. And that's character development. They beat the absolute stuffing out of each other like it was Thanksgiving, and only one of them could claim the last piece of pie. By the end, it felt like a proper main event, the kind where you yell at your TV and scare your pets. Make the dogs go barking, maybe even they get into a fight and start biting each other, and then they bite you when you try to break it up. Cody's winning made sense here, but for once, it wasn't a foregone conclusion, and that little bit of uncertainty That's the seasoning that turns wrestling from plain chicken into spicy drama. Anytime that you don't know what's going to happen, that's the sweet spot. And, it was better match than I expected it was going to be for two faces. What did you think of this, TJ?
It was a really good main event. I feel like when they're doing the thing where they go back and look at these guys after their career's done, they'll look back at this one. And it's not even to say that it was like this really big quality match or anything, but it's like the guys involved, the importance, all that. This will definitely be something they look back on because of the significance of who was involved. Yeah, solid match. I liked it. And that being said, since we're at the end of it, Raw was pretty decent. I liked it a lot, man. I have no fucking clue how I'd really rate it, to tell you the truth. It's like a 7.5.
I'd give it like a C plus, B minus. Yeah, like a 7.5. That's good.
Yeah, something like that.
Above average, but not like stellar, out of this world.
Yeah, they just really need a big storyline to pop shit off, and this Cena stuff's just kind of in the way of that.
The Bloodline story, you really see how much it carried the shows for the last few years.
Well, that, and it's just like this Cena run just hasn't been too great, and it's ready to move on from that. And it should be interesting to see where the fuck they go with that, I guess. I don't know.
Well, and speaking of moving on, we gonna move on to some news here today.
Oh, wow.
And why don't you tell us what's going on in the news there, TJ?
So if you're a wrestling fan, there's no way that you haven't somehow thought about this or read about it or, something. So the Saudi airspace closure raises concerns for WWE Night of Champions. Amid rising tension between Iran, Israel, and the U.S., Saudi Arabia has closed its airspace to civilian flights, and it is still closed as of this recording. The closure has triggered concerns over WWE's Night of Champions event, scheduling in the country. Rumors spread that WWE staff may be stranded in Qatar, raising alarms over logistics. The current status, via PW Insider, is that a majority of the WWE personnel have reportedly been in Saudi Arabia since the week of June 9th. The event setup has been underway for over a week. Additional production crew has been arriving gradually. However, 5 WWE staff members are currently stuck at Doha Airport in Qatar. What's going on there? Awaiting a connecting flight that was halted by the airspace closure. Man, that's scary. So there's no.
So they're just sitting there waiting to what they can do or can't do.
There's no statement from WWE yet. Yeah, you're right. You're correct with that. WWE has not issued an official statement. Sources indicate that the plans for the Night of Champions remain on track. Situation is being actively monitored in real time. So there's a regional impact here with the Saudi Arabia's closure as part of a broader response to regional instability and recent missile strikes. Other Middle Eastern countries are also restricting or rerouting air traffic, impacting commercial airlines. So, yeah, that's some pretty fucking crazy shit there. Just the world we live in, right?
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah, it's
not great. And
I don't have an expert opinion attack on that, but sorry.
No, we're not political experts or anything.
Yeah, it's a shame, and I hope everybody makes it out okay. And I know that they have to please the money gods, but if this was like I don't know, man. There's no way I would fucking be going there if I was any of these people. No way.
Yeah,
I would go nowhere near that place if I had people I cared about. I wouldn't want them going over there, and it's just overall bad for everybody involved, and I'm just wishing everybody the best. That's all I can say.
Hoping for a safe travel and a good show and a safe return for everybody.
Yeah.
And you and I talked a bit about this yesterday. We're hoping that we don't have to make a type of news report that we don't want to have to make. So let's hope for the best.
Well, I feel like if this event does happen, the Saudis, the people that are running this event and everything, they're throwing money around to make sure that everybody's okay.
Yeah,
hopefully so.
Well, I mean, the odds that something is going to happen at the event where the Saudi royalty and crown prince is going to be pretty fucking low. And I don't think many countries are going to risk attacking something like that while the people that run the country are at it. Because, I mean, I don't know, stuff happens, so who knows? And like I said, we're not political experts, so on that, we're just going to talk about the factual news stuff of the subject, and that's it, because we're not geopolitical experts or any other kind of experts for that matter.
Yet.
And we're going to move on to the next segment of the news here, and we got a report that Roxanne Perez is expected to replace Liv Morgan as the women's tag team champion. Funny, TJ and I were just talking about that the last episode when we reported on Liv Morgan's injury and that she was going to be out for 6 months and potential things that they could be doing. Weird. It's almost like that we've been watching wrestling our whole lives and know what we're talking about a little bit. But according to PW Insider, WWE is expected to replace the injured Liv Morgan with Roxanne Perez as Raquel Rodriguez's tag team partner. This Perez would become the WWE Women's Tag Team Champion, and that's a little fucky notes there. And as we all know, Morgan suffered her injury during the June 16th episode of Monday Night Raw, and it's going to require surgery, and she'll be out up to 6 months. WWE was reportedly forced to scrap the major creative plans for Evolution 2, which included their title defense against the Bella Twins. And obviously we had touched on that before, but not this next part. And the WWE's solution is reportedly going to be that they will not vacate the tag team titles, and they're going to substitute Roxanne in her place. And she is a former, I don't know why there's all this extra notes in here about some of this shit. It just ended up in there. Former NXT Women's Champion, NXT Women's Tag Team Champion. She was a semifinalist in the Queen of the Ring tournament, but she lost that match. And historically speaking, though, WWE has previously replaced injured champions without vacating the titles, especially in the tag team division, if it was something that made sense storyline-wise. So that's probably what they're going to do here. If we're seeing reports about it, and TJ and I were already speculating it's probably what's going to happen. And it makes sense, and there's a lot of directions and angles that they can go moving forward from this, should they choose to go this way. And what do you think of that kind of news, TJ? Is that something that you'd be interested in seeing? I know I would.
I don't know. We're talking about sorry, I had something pretty nuts just happen, but we're talking about the
Roxanne Perez.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So
yeah,
it'd be cool. I mean, we were talking about that earlier. We talked about it the other day. Yep.
Everything okay over there?
No, yeah, everything's fine. But yeah. Right. Trust me, you'd know if it wasn't. I'd be like, what's going on here? It's Raw! It's fucking Raw! But no, sorry. I just can't focus on more than one thing at once. But anyways, yeah, I mean, this is the obvious direction they're going to go. I mean, they don't want to just hand them over either. If they do want to get it on another tag team, this is going to be the way to do it, unless they want to have another fucking tournament, and just no more fucking tournaments, please.
No more tournaments, no more multi-man fucking fatal four-ways, triple threats. Let's take a break on those for a while. I feel like the last 2 months on every show that we're watching is some kind of triple threat, fatal four-way, all-star, 8-man tag. Yeah. Fucking, let's get back to basics a little bit here.
But this kind of fits with what they had going on anyways, with the big girl, little girl tag team dynamic. And this could be a way for like Roxanne Perez and to showcase herself. And I don't know, I keep fucking up the new girl's name, just forgetting it.
Roxanne.
Man, both these girls' names starting with R is fucking me up really bad. So Raquel Rodriguez, she this could be a way to kind of get her back in the spotlight, because they weren't doing anything with the tag belts anyways. Like, they never defended it once. So maybe they'll start defending it more with two girls that aren't over and can actually do something, as opposed to with Liv. They always had her too busy to doing other shit, So now that they're not on Liv, they actually have the chance maybe for these girls to do something with the belts, is what I'm saying. No, I said that.
Right, because they just had him off TV for a month while Liv was off shooting that movie, and then she comes back, and then 2 weeks later she's hurt. That really sucked.
Well, they never did anything before or afterward anyways. I don't think they had one defense. If they did, I mean, I could be wrong, but it's...
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That's nothing to fucking remember, right?
No.
But yeah, I will say one more thing about it. It's kind of funny because they've been talking about AEW doing women's tag team belts, and I think if that rumor wasn't out there, that maybe these belts would have fucking gone away. But they don't want to.
Maybe
they don't want the competition to get a leg up on them, and the women's, people that pump up anything to do with women to be all upset and all that. You get what I'm saying?
I do believe I know what you were saying. So that means we're going to get the Gwalden girls.
Yeah,
as a tag team.
But yeah, it's either way. We can go ahead and wrap that up. Should be good. I'm sure the Judgment Day will have plenty of more successful, crazy, weird things for those girls to do. And JD McDonough will have a big head, and Finn will keep manipulating these guys, and Dom will, be really funny.
I wonder.
If Dom, instead of going for Roxanne, he goes for Raquel.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, but what were you going to say?
I forgot. But this has been the news.
Oh, it has. And if the news relied on us being like normal newsmen, man, we'd be fucked. It would not go over very well. They'd be like, well,
I mean, we wouldn't be fucked. Everybody else would be, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we probably wouldn't keep the job.
I mean, they would know what they were getting into if they hired us to do the news.
I'm telling you one thing that we do, though. If it was about being wrestling journalists, we could do that no fucking problem, man. Like, I'll be a wrestling journalist right now. So it's like, let's just think of something. It's just like, so I heard some rumors, Dave, that they might have Solo Sikoa win the U.S. Championship. Now, plans could change. I'm not sure. That's just what I'm hearing. You see what I mean?
To get press credentials, you need to generally demonstrate that you are a working journalist affiliated with a recognized media outlet. Do we count as a recognized media outlet yet?
No. But we might one day. But I'm just saying, it's like... I'm just making fun of old Dave Meltzer just being like, plans could change. Maybe. Oh, I'm not too sure. Oh, things changed. Yeah. You always got that hole, that ace in the hole, right?
Yeah. The baffle him with bullshit.
Pretty much. But that being said, I guess we can go ahead and wrap this thing up here if you want.
Yeah. Let's get on out of here. So make sure that you guys tune in next time for the day after Dynamite episode on Thursday. And we'll have an update for you on Night of the Champions, regardless of what that is or isn't. I'm sure that there will be more news that will come out between now and Thursday as to, is the event moving forward? Is the airspace still closed? So we'll be coming at you with an update on that. We'll also have other news, assuming that other newsworthy things happen in the world of wrestling. Stuff happens every day. I assume something. And who knows? Maybe we'll have a fun segment or something like that. Hopefully me and TJ aren't all heat stroked out and we'll be a little bit more energetic. Today was, we had to coach ourselves up a little bit so that we could be here and do a good job for you guys. Yeah. So don't forget to listen, you're already listening. I'm an idiot. Don't forget to follow us on all of our socials at OverMark ENT. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. The big four, as they say. Thanks for listening, Overmaniacs. TJ, thanks for being here for this episode. I know you're tired and not feeling great. You did a great job. Nobody could tell at all.
I'm sure they probably could a little bit, but I appreciate you, Dave. We always have fun doing this. We appreciate you guys for listening. Hope you guys have a good night. And like Dave just said, the Overmaniacs, we hear you. You're running wild, you're running strong, and we're out of here. Have a good night.